As the leader of the Booner Pack, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the f*** up, boys.
It's bumping right now. It's got my juices pumping, boys.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Crunch Time Sports. I'm your host, Jeff Iafrate. Booner will be joining us in a little bit. Again, he's driving home. He's doing the show. We got a packed show today. We have more updates on the Sherrone Moore situation. We have Lions, Rams. I have injury updates for you guys as well. At least who practiced today. My thoughts on who will ultimately play. And we'll talk some Lions, Rams in the second hour. We're also having Anthony Broome on the show. And for those who don't know who Anthony Broome is, he covers the Michigan Wolverines. He's one of the best in the business. So he's going to join the show and break down the Sherrone Moore situation for us, because as much information as I'm trying to consistently find, I don't have all the facts. Okay, I have stuff I do want to show you guys today, which is kind of embarrassing stuff, to be honest with you, on his part. It's kind of shocking information. And I'm going to give my opinion on that, but Anthony Broome will have all the facts for us, as he always does. But hope you guys are having a great day, at least great night now at this point. I see everyone in the chat here, SW Lion. Yep, sad for family. You were absolutely right about that. Steve Wilds is in there as well. For all the new people tuning in, I appreciate you. Hit that subscribe button for Lions content, really all Detroit sports content. We cover it all. You can follow us on social media. It's all in the description. You can check it out, or it's in our channel. And our channel information, all the links to our social media is there. If you're listening on any podcast platform, leave a 5-star review. ETN, I see you in there. What's going on, brother? Man, as the days get closer, as the days, at this point are just kind of going by to this Rams game, I am just getting so fired up. I cannot wait. We'll be live at Dog and Pony Show Brewing. Shout out to our good friend Kyle over in Oak Park. It's been posted on our social medias, so if you want to come hang out with the fellas and watch the game, even if you're not that far of a drive, or you want to make the drive and come hang out, it's worth it. It's a very, very nice place to hang out, watch games at, man. I've been there multiple times already. Kyle always takes care of his customers. He's one of those owners that is just consistently in his own establishment, which is just rare to see. He's hanging out. He's a great guy, and we'll be drinking some beers, watching some football. So it'll be a fun time. But before we get to the Sherrone Moore stuff, because I do have more information on that, updates for all those who want to know more updates. I know it's hard, man. Everything's flying on social media. In the age of social media, information spreads quickly. It spreads at such an insane rate. And for doing a daily show, at least I'm trying to gather as much information as I can. But also in 2025 now, you can't really trust anything at the same time. So it has to be kind of confirmed. There's so much information that gets flown around, lies, AI now being implemented into social media. You just got to be very careful. So from what I've gathered, I believe to be true from reputable reporters and reputable outlets. So I'll talk about that. But before we do, let me show you who practiced today. And I'll do it on both sides. It's Rams and essentially Lions. So here's the practice report for both teams. So you can kind of see the Rams aren't really dealing with any injuries. I mean, they really aren't. I mean, when I looked at this earlier, I was like, wow, they have 4 guys and all of them will probably play. I mean, Devontae Adams did not practice, but he's playing. Byron Young, he's a really good player. Light practice, he's going to play. Darius Williams, he's going to play. Tutu Atwell, he's going to play. So it's okay. I'm telling you, it's just... That's part of in the NFL. You need some luck when it comes to injuries. Okay, you do. And the Rams just have all the luck right now with injuries. They're relatively healthy. So, yeah, there's really nothing to update you guys on the Rams side, unfortunately. Not that you root for injuries, but let's be real here as a fan. Rams fans like that Brian Branch is out. Okay, there's no denying that. All right, you look at the Lions side of it here. Brian Branch, obviously, I don't even know why he's on here. He's out. So he's out. Taylor Decker, offensive tackle there. You see, did not practice. They do that every week. They've been doing it every week with Taylor Decker. I mean, he's dealing with so many injuries that basically you're just resting him. That's all it is. So there's nothing to really be concerned about there. Kirby Joseph, now here's the biggest storyline of the entire injury report. He had a light practice yesterday. He did not practice today. That is not good news at all. I'm getting more and more concerned about this Kirby Joseph stuff. And I'm just being very honest with you guys. I don't know what to make of it. I know this knee injury's been lingering for a while, but you got to understand, when you go from practice to no practice and they have to make a decision if you're traveling in the next day or so, this is big. And they only have a couple games left. So if the medical staff and Kirby, if they believe that he can't get back to at least playing form, he's not playing anymore this season. He's just not. What are you going to do? Rush the guy back for the last 3 games and he has a lingering knee issue that's bothering him? For a guy you just gave a ton of money to? I just think they're going to probably err on the side of caution with him personally, rather than try and force him to play and potentially make this thing worse. Because you got to think, I know you're not thinking about next season, but Brian Branch is going to miss some games next season. God forbid Kirby does something worse to his knee. You're not trying to have 2 of your top safeties out for, at least lingering into next season. So this is probably, and I'm, again, not a doctor, just my opinion. It does feel, or at least it does give me some indication that this is an issue that only can be resolved with either surgery or a long period of rehab. I just don't think this is something that, again, it's been sick, guys. How many weeks has it been? I mean, does anyone in the chat room, really know? 6, 7 weeks? Oh, 6, 7. Damn it. You get the point. It's been a while. So at this point, it's like, if it's not improving, KC game, I see 8 weeks. Yeah, it sounds about right. I mean, just the weeks are kind of flying by here. So it is concerning. I would say at this point, you can't, what are you going to do? So that's just my gut feel. I've been saying that for probably the last week or so. And like Steve Wild says, he was pretty down about it. I've heard some chatters about Kirby Joseph in the locker room that hasn't been reported, but he hasn't been, let's just say, in good spirits. Okay. And again, that doesn't mean he's out or for the year or anything, but again, he's clearly frustrated. The rest, I guess the positive on this is you have Christian Mahogany, light practice again. So he's back on track. Here's the interesting thing. 2 things that I find interesting about this. And by the way, Alex Anzalone did not practice yesterday due to illness. He practiced today. So that's good news. The 2 things I like about this injury list here. Shane Zylstra, the tight end for Lions, they need tight end help. Bad. Not just tight end help, but guys that can make plays, right? Not just blocking tight ends. They need guys like Shane Zylstra. I can't believe I'm saying this. And Shane Zylstra isn't a world beater, but he is a receiving threat. He's more of a, I think John Morton called him, he's a true receiving tight end. He's a pass catcher. That's what he does. He had 3 touchdowns in a game in a Lions uniform. So that's good. They really need him back. With no Sam, no Brock Wright. They need someone at least they can go to at tight end in the passing game. And I know Shane's probably trying to get back because he's like, hey, this is a big opportunity for me. So let's rock. But Shane's getting back. It looks like light practice. The other one is Thomas Harper. Concussion, light practice. That's good news. I don't know if he's going to clear concussion protocol, but what I do know is you have a guy who's already working his way in practice. This is good news. Safety room right now is kind of depleted. They signed 2 guys off the street, Jalen Mills, DeMonte Kazee. It'd be nice if Thomas Harper could play. This is one of those games you got to get. It's all hands on deck. And that's why it does give me more concern with Kirby, because if he was able to at least go, he would be practicing. It's one of those games. And if he can't go, he can't go. Which to me is concerning. But yeah. It is what it is. What are you going to do? It's a knee injury, man. Kirby's been, I guess, for his career, pretty He's been relatively healthy. I know he's probably missed, maybe get nicked up here or there, but overall he's been pretty healthy. This injury is probably frustrating to him, especially, in a year right now where they need all the help they can get for this stretch of games. By the way, side note, did anybody see TJ Watt just got checked into the hospital today? I saw that earlier. Apparently he got hurt getting treatment at the Steelers facility. I know I'm looking ahead, but I'm just saying bad news for TJ. You don't want him to get hurt, but good news for the Lions. All right, I'm just saying. If TJ Watt's out for the Lions game, it's not a bad thing at all. But that sucks. It's like one of those Tyrod Taylor incidents, it feels like, with the Chargers. Remember when Justin Herbert got the start because Tyrod Taylor got basically stabbed in the lung by the doctor on accident? I don't know. I don't know for certain, but it seems like it's one of those situations. So yeah, TJ Watt was in the hospital. It just happened. So I think he's fine, but yeah, that's not a good situation, but good for the Lions if he's out. That's the type of player TJ Watt is. So I just saw that earlier. I didn't know if you guys saw that or not. But yeah, I did want to get into more of the Sherrone Moore stuff. I wanted to kind of get to the injuries. And then again, we'll have Anthony Broome on. We'll talk Michigan football kind of in the first hour. I know if you're a fan or not, it's still one of the bigger stories in sports. Let alone college football, sports right now. It's a massive storyline. Michigan's obviously a big brand. So we're going to cover it today. We have tons of Lions-Rams in the second hour. So it's pretty much all Lions-Rams. We'll get into Jared versus Matthew, Booner's keys to victory, all that and more. But right now, I want to bring up some stuff from Sherrone Moore that I thought was interesting, at least the stuff that's happening. So there's so many angles to kind of take with this thing. I think we can all agree it's just overall just a disgusting situation all around. I think Sherrone Moore, being in the position he's in right now, where he's, I guess, in police custody is clearly just, it's mind-boggling. From where we were yesterday to where we are today, from getting fired to allegedly being arrested at the girl's house he had an affair with, threatening to unalive himself and harm her, and now he's in jail. And there's a mugshot being floated around that I don't even know if it's AI or not. You don't know if anything's AI at this point. But they have him in custody, A, to protect himself, but B, it could be legitimate charges. If the alleged allegations are true, he's getting charges. Apparently it's been reported he's been stalking her, and again, allegedly been stalking her. And that's what led to her, Paige Shivers, I believe her name is, going to the University of Michigan and being like, hey, here's all the proof, and this is what's been happening. So I guess that's essentially, and by the way, I don't know how you guys feel. You can call me an asshole all you want. She's a victim in terms of him stalking her and all that. That's a terrible situation. But she messed up too. Okay, don't get me wrong. Like she messed up bad as well. She made a terrible mistake as well. So she's not innocent in all this either. But here's the thing that I think is very interesting. Let me show you guys this. So this is her salary from the last 3 years. This has been reported online. Okay, and tell me if you see something very interesting about this. You guys are smart. Tell me. From 2022 to 2023, 2023 to 2024, 2024 to 2025. Look at that salary. Tell me if you see anything different. Change from last fiscal year. You see the $58,000, and all of a sudden $90,000. She got a 55% increase from the prior year. Okay. All right. That's not like we all have jobs, right? Like we all understand the idea of getting a raise at work. Okay. It's like like you Steve Wow, it's more than 3%. Everyone has different percentages. You get yearly, whatever. 55% increase. Like, this is why This is why I said she's not completely innocent either. Okay, she knew what she was doing. She's a victim from him stalking her. That's terrible. But I'm talking about the events leading up to that. You got $40,000 more. Well, essentially, it's less than that, but you get my point. It's really like 32, whatever it is. You got a $30,000 to $40,000 increase from the prior year. You had no problem accepting that. Okay, you were clearly doing something that was not is not well. I should say is frowned upon, not only in the work environment but just morally because he has a family and a wife. So there's two different angles to look at that from. You took that 30, 40K, you took it with a smile on your face. Okay. So that is wild. And this should have been the biggest. I don't know who approves or who looks at this. If I'm like the guy who I'm working at Michigan, I'm approving these salaries, whatever. I'm in charge of the books and I'm seeing a $32,000 increase for an employee. I'm looking at Sherrone Moore going, bro, what is she doing for this football program? Is she helping you draw up like cover 2 concepts or at least drawing up plays for you? What in the fuck is $32,000? I mean, why are we giving her $32,000 more? What is that? I mean, we're not talking about 2, 3,000, 4,000 more. We're talking 32. That's crazy. I don't know how that didn't get flagged. I mean, I don't know. I guess everyone just kind of looks, doesn't really look. Everyone just looks the other way, I guess, when Sherrone Moore gives a raise. But the other thing I saw, too, with this whole situation, which I thought was interesting and has been reported, Pete Thamel, who he's like a college football reporter. He's a big-time college football reporter. He reported that Sherrone Moore had been, quote, acting strange leading up to these, to the kind of the, I guess, firing. So it says here, and this is on New York Post, former Michigan coach Sherrone Moore had been acting strange prior to his stunning firing Wednesday for an inappropriate relationship with a staff member, according to ESPN. College football reporter Pete Thamel said the situation had been percolating for the last few weeks. So again, this is known. It says here, there had been a lot of uneasiness on the Michigan staff. So guys, their staff, they know what's going on. Okay. They're like, this guy's going crazy. Sources had told me Sherrone Moore had been acting strange, berating assistant coaches, not acting in a normal way. Where do you think he found that information out from? Thamel said Wednesday on SportsCenter after Michigan axed its coach in his second season. So this has been going on. I mean, they've suspected it. I mean, the coaching staff is like, what the hell? I mean, this guy's acting like a lunatic, and he's going off on assistant coaches. He's acting strange. What the hell's going on? So they already had an inkling of something at least was up. I don't know if they knew of the situation or not, but I know they knew something was up. But we now know, at least, again, this is all just rumors, call it whatever. This is what I'll ask Anthony. She turned him in after, I guess, they ended things, or I don't know. They ended things, and then he was stalking. I don't know. And then she turned him in because she's like, this guy's, going crazy. I don't know. Stalking is crazy. I mean, obviously that's a heinous crime. I don't know what the hell Sherrone Moore's doing. He must have just lost it. I don't know. And then there's the allegations of an abortion, which I mean, there's so much shit that keeps coming out. It's just hard to believe. It's just hard to believe. Steve Wilds, Michigan knew about these mental health issues for weeks, and Ward is complacent in the happenings after the firing for firing without taking precautions. I will tell you this. If I'm Michigan, I am firing Ward Manuel. And I just saw a report, Yahoo, Ward Manuel, quote, remains the athletic director. Ward Manuel remains the athletic director amid search for next football. So he's going to make the hire. He's staying there. I've never liked Ward Manuel. Okay. There's been a lot of, you have to look at it as an athletic director. He nailed Dusty May, obviously. And I didn't make that clear yesterday. He's an incredible coach, but there has been so much shit piling up under Ward Manuel, he's sitting on a throne of it. I mean, there's all the crap that's been happening. And it's, again, whether it's directly linked to him or not, it's still under him. He is in a leadership position. So, yeah, I agree. Fire Ward Manuel. Bring it. You need to. This is one of those things. Michigan football as a brand is one of the bigger brands in college football. It's a massive brand. And when you have all this stench around the university for crazy crap that's, again, the self-inflicted wounds by Sherrone Moore, but other things that's happened with this university, the best thing to do now is to clean house. Clean house. And that's the way, at least, it'll look good from a PR standpoint. You fire your athletic director, you fire your head coach, you say, hey, man, we're fixing this side. We're fixing it. We're going to get it right. All right? So that's what I think Michigan should do, is clean house. Get the hell away from Ward Manuel and Sherrone Moore. I don't know how long they knew or not. They waited till after signing day, and there's already been a report, and I saw earlier that a linebacker, I forgot his name, he already kind of decommitted, and they approved it, but he's, I guess, looking to go somewhere else. Again, there's probably other players that they haven't lost a ton of guys, I don't think, as of yet. But yeah, Bryce Underwood waiting on the next hire, who's going to be the next head coach. A lot of pressure on Ward Manuel to get this thing right. A lot of pressure. Let's bring in Boone here. We'll talk about it. And we got Anthony Broome joining the show. And you can get that link to him. But comment in the chat. Let's see if we can read some of these. SW line. How much did you have to do with Dusty May? Maybe it was more John Beeline. Again, that's the stuff I don't know. But I do know you have one shot to get this thing right. After hiring Sherrone Moore and it ending this way, my God, you fuck up the next hire, you're in a heap of shit. Let's bring in Boone. Boone, how we doing?
How are we? Jeff, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Love the blue.
Good.
The UNC blue. Looks good. And the coffee. Look at you, man. Put together tonight.
I was talking about...
I was going to say, I missed what we were talking about. What's going on?
Well, I was just bringing up the fact that two things. One, the report by Pete Thamel that Sherrone Moore was acting strange. He got the information from probably assistant coaches, but he was acting strange weeks prior to this event, berating says assistant coaches.
I did not see that. Did that just come out?
Yeah, it's New York Post. Pete Thamel said it. New York Post wrote about it. So Pete Thamel said it.
Oh, so this must be just like recent news.
Yes, I think it was today, but he's berating assistant coaches. And then you have the screenshot of the woman, the mistress, I guess, her salary doubled this past season, which you already kind of knew that, but it actually
that one I really don't that doesn't really bother me. I think that was more so she got a promotion, and she got the promotion probably because of that.
Yeah, there's no promotion. It's the same job title. She got 40 more thousand.
I see. I thought that when she was with Jim Harbaugh 2 years ago, she had a different job. When Sherrone took over, he gave her the assistant job. Which guy had the pay grade upgrade? That's what. But I'll say this though, like at the end of the day, listen, I haven't really heard what you were talking about here. Like with the new kind of more of the news coming out today, like I think the whole situation is insane, right? Like everything that just keeps coming out is just crazier and crazier and crazier. You hear like the TMZ call today of essentially that he's been stalking her for months, allegedly on the phone call. That's what comes out. He's still Sherrone Moore's still in jail, still yet to get arraigned, and they're still trying to figure that out. And it's like it's kind of a whirlwind of everything going on. I think at the end of the day, like bottom line, the one thing I think I can say with confidence, I would say I'm not reporting, I don't know anything, but in my mind, I do not want Ward Manuel to make the decision for head coach, and I would say Ward Manuel just needs to be fired across the board. Like if he fired, like the report that comes out today, who was that hold on, I want to make sure I credit the right person, because it actually was, I think it was an NBC reporter. No, not Ross Dillinger. Hold on. Nicole Auerbach. I don't know if she is NBC Sports. Yep. She reported that earlier today, which is crazy to me, that Michigan had been alerted prior to Wednesday that Sherrone Moore was dealing with mental health issues. And then when Warden Manuel fired him, never had the HR, never had any security, had nothing. They just, knowing that he had, mental health issues going on. I think even just in general, if you're going to fire someone, like, you should have someone else probably in the room, whether it's HR, whatever it is. Like, I work, corporate, and I know when that stuff happens, there's probably someone in the room. I haven't, knock on wood, been fired, but my guess is if I ever do, it's going to be, hey, this person's in the room, to make sure this goes okay. But knowing that priorly he had this issue going on, and that's crazy to me. Like, Ward Manuel, just like he just continues to, and Jeff, I think you know this because we've talked about, I feel like, Michigan a million times the last couple of years, but like there just continues to be like cover-ups, just different issues constantly going on, whether it's different scandals, and just constant. And it's like, yeah, the winning is awesome when it comes to all these different programs. And you could be like, oh, Ward Manuel's won you 1 million Big Ten championships. You're having success every time he hires in hockey, basketball, women's basketball, men's basketball, this sport. It's like, yeah, it's all right. Winning's awesome. But when your AD is constantly trying to cover things up, and not even just cover things up, but just like not doing his job the way it's supposed to be done, right? Like, you need people in that building who are going to do the job correctly, right? Whether it's the way you like it or not, the professional way and the right way to do it. And I think that's the issue that a lot of people, whether it's Michigan State fans, Ohio State fans, or just even Michigan fans at this point now, who are like, the big blue wall, like, yeah, that's a thing. Like, it feels like the last 10 years, it's just been the big blue wall has been Ward Manuel trying to cover everything up and trying to just, help people out and like cover people's tracks and do this and do that and allow just bad people in the buildings. Right. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's a continuous thing. And it's the same thing I say with this past regime of football. It's like, Sherrone's gone. Like, do not hire someone in-house. Do not hire someone that was ever connected with anything to do with Jim Harbaugh and this program ever. Like, let that go and just fresh start. I think it needs to be the same thing in the athletic department as a whole. Like, you need to fire Ward Manuel. Like, this guy, he should not be within 100 yards of the Michigan campus or 100 miles within the Michigan campus after this whole thing's done. I think Michigan fans are kind of over Ward Manuel and over just constant. I heard John Jansen talking about it this morning, and you could tell someone who played there and went there, Jeff. I don't know if you saw the clip or like watched the show this morning, like the genuine anger, like you could see steam coming from his head, like about how this is just the constant things going on at Michigan is just, it's just putting a bad, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a bad disdain or a bad taste on the Michigan brand because of the way Ward Manuel and this program and this athletic department has ran things the last 10 years, trying to cover things up and trying to act like they're all high and mighty and they don't, their what doesn't stink. Like, that's not how this thing works. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I try to argue over the last couple of years, hey man, like, Michigan's a prestigious program. In the last 10 years of all these scandals and stuff, that has taken a hit on the reputation of the university. And I think if you're a fan, if you're an alumni or, someone who's currently going there, it's like, you can't continue. Like, if you care about this university and athletics a little bit and you work there, you should step up and be like, I want him out. I want Ward Manuel out. And anyone that has to do with Ward Manuel that's helped him cover his tracks over the last few years or anyone's tracks, out. Gone.
Yeah.
Don't want to see you again 100 miles from the campus ever again. Do not come back. I do not care anything about your past with Michigan. But you have, over the last 10 seasons, they have ruined the Michigan brand, it feels like. I keep getting texts from Flannel Sam. It's the funniest thing. Flannel Sam just keeps being like, I hate this because it feels like Michigan's turning into the laughing stock. And I'm with him. Like, as a fan, you're sitting there going like, this is, like, you can't no longer, like, there's no longer, like, trying to stand up for it and be like, oh, no, man, like, it's just one thing. It's just this. It's like, man, this has just gone on for too long. And I do think, I think by the end of the week, my guess is that Ward Manuel, or even by maybe tonight, it sounds like potentially he's out. And I know we have Anthony coming on here. Maybe he can shine some more light on that stuff. I'm sorry, Jeff. I went on a long rant there.
No.
I want to talk more about it after Anthony as well. I have so many questions for Anthony about the situation.
Let's do it. Let's talk to him. One of the best in the business. Covers the Michigan Wolverines. You can check him out, thewolverine.com, the Wolverine on 3NX, on 3 Sports, our good friend Anthony Broome. Anthony, how are you doing, my friend?
Hello. Terrible time to have taken PTO this weekend. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Are you going to the Lions game in Los Angeles?
I am in LA. Yep. I flew out here today. I got about 2 hours and change of sleep last night. I'm feeling it, but we'll sleep. We sleep in May. Michigan's got to hire a coach. Basketball team, I think, is going to play deep into this season. So just keep pounding the caffeine and see what happens from there.
Yeah. I know caffeine's been your best friend, Anthony. I at least for someone like me or people in the chat that are watching, that you have all these facts coming out on, or at least alleged facts, just flying around social media. Based on everything you've seen, everything you've confirmed, can you just kind of lay out a realistic timeline from when maybe Michigan suspected there was something going on, or when they first found out, to where we are now? Could you kind of just give a timeline for the people that might not be, or might not have the clarity? They just have a bunch of random facts being thrown at them about this situation.
Sure. And I'll be straight up with you. Like the timeline is sort of unclear to me. I'll be straight up about this. Like these are rumors that have not honestly been the worst kept secret in Ann Arbor for a long time. I can only speak for myself. One, we don't do the TMZ rag journal,
right,
or the tabloid sort of stuff. But so I go into it. I went into it a little bit skeptically because naturally when things don't go well, or things might not be going as well as quickly as people want them to, especially in college sports, there are always factions, and there are people with agendas that spread rumors or fabricate things. It became clear at some point that when you start hearing it unprompted from a lot of different people, it's pretty hard to ignore. And I can just say that what I know for sure is that the tone of this program kind of took a turn after that USC game. And I don't know if this was up against the backdrop of what was going on behind the scenes, if they just had a crappy game and there were people pointing fingers and stuff, but this was investigated and both parties had said that nothing happened and denied it. And then over the last week or so, and really maybe during the week of the Ohio State game, at this point, it's not super clear to me, but started to get a little more smoke on it. And last week, the drip started again. And then about 48 hours ago, I mean, the noise was too much to ignore. And what I know for sure is that one of the parties involved, the alleged staffer, came forward with the smoking gun in the last 48 to 72 hours. That's all that we know for sure, and there was no coming back from that after that. So that's where we're at right now. I know it's a lot of words to say. I really am not 100% sure. It's just been, there's a lot of noise around it. I'll just say and I'm sure we'll get to it, with everything that happened yesterday, in hindsight, the firing now is the least shocking thing that happened. Because everything that continued to happen throughout last night was crazy. I mean, I don't want to do the low-hanging fruit compared to Mel Tucker thing, but at least that guy just disappeared. Like Sherrone Moore's in jail right now, and he's going to be arraigned tomorrow. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, Anthony, I know, as you said, you don't have all the details fully. I think one of the big things that has been going around college football, and I think a lot of people are asking questions, is obviously signing day was last week, and then this comes out now. Do you know, are you able to clarify a little bit I know you kind of just went over the timeline there. Do you think it had anything to do with them waiting until after signing day, or is it more so, hey, the person came out just a day or so ago with this. Was that timing kind of just a coincidence, or what are your thoughts on that? Because I feel like that's one of the bigger things going around college football right now in that world on Twitter is that specific, like, hey, why did Michigan wait until after signing day? What are your thoughts on that whole thing as well?
Yeah, I think it would be insulting and somewhat condescending to suggest that that didn't have something to do with it. I can just say that what I know for sure, because all I'm going to really share is what I know for sure and what I know to be true, is there were some guys that waited to sign last week and still ultimately did because these rumors had gotten out there. I think it was maybe Monday or so when, you started seeing it. I mean, from accounts with Michigan players as their avatar, from accounts that are AI, from
Right.
a lot of different places. And, knowing what we knew, something was going on. So it would be disingenuous for me to suggest that that didn't have something to do with it. But what I can say for sure is that within the last 48 to 72 hours is when enough was enough. And the evidence that maybe Michigan didn't look hard enough for, whatever it is, that became that was brought to light this week, and by the party opposite of Sherrone Moore.
I would like to ask you too, Anthony, with kind of Ward Manuel, and our chat's been talking about, I've seen it a lot on X as well, but Michigan fans are being very unhappy with him, at least on the football side of things. What's kind of your take on the Ward Manuel criticism when it comes to, I guess, the balance between fire this guy, or are we going to hold him accountable for just what's happening on the football side? Where are you kind of at with the Ward Manuel stuff?
I think with Ward, it's just been too much controversy in a short amount of time. That's without even the sign stealing stuff, the Jim Harbaugh saga. I mean, Mel Pearson didn't have a contract, still kept showing up to work despite allegations of misconduct within the hockey program, multiple Juwan Howard situations, some that I have not and will not see the light of day, but I know happened within the men's basketball program. It's at some point there is just a stink that's attached to all of it, and I feel like every year people always ask me, like, oh, what do you do in the offseason? Like, when games are over, like, you must have all this downtime, and what do you do? It's like, no, there's been something that Michigan athletics department has put on everyone's plate. It seems like every year, and a lot of it's been the football program, and a lot of it, I don't think Ward Manuel is necessarily to blame for, but just how much controversy can there be? Michigan is a pretty proud institution that a lot of people are feeling pretty beat down right now because it's always something, and drama seems to swirl around, Ward Manuel and inaction. I don't think there's been an insinuation of a cover up. If I'm being frank, I don't think he's deft enough to cover up anything. I think Ward's biggest sin is he likes to take the path of least resistance and then maybe kind of hope things go away, which I would argue is kind of worse because it's just lazy instead of being nefarious. Like, when you do something nefarious, you're gone. When you do something lazy, like, it just kind of keeps happening and there's always an excuse for it. So that's where I am with that. It's hard for me to imagine. Like, I think that he will be part of making this hire. Do I think that he will be the number one guy that leads the search? I don't think so. Do I think he will survive this? I would say no, but I don't know what that timeline looks like. Like, you don't have a university president, and you can't run a coaching search without a president, without an athletic director. And I know there are people and rumored names in the interim, but there needs to be, if you're going to get someone worth a damn, like, there needs to be alignment here.
Yeah, Andy, that was going to be my next question. It feels like it's obviously late in the coaching cycle. It's like every team has filled their vacancy, it feels like, and then this happens, which is very unfortunate. But then you have also the athletic director situation, the president situation. Like, you have all of that going on. What do you think the timeline is for getting a coach? Because I think it was John U. Bacon today did an interview, with our friend Ryan Armani, and he brought up, he's like, they're going to have the head coach within 5 to 10 days. But they still, like today, they still have Ward Manuel there. So it's ever the question, it's like, how do we say 5 to 10 days if there is no athletic director, if there's no vision on, hey, this is who's going to pick the coach? Is there like a sense of urgency on that? What do you see like this timeline being to get a head coach?
That depends on if you think Kalen DeBoer is a legitimate option or not. They have a college football playoff game 8 days from now. So unless Alabama loses and he decides to come to Michigan, and that's somewhere in that 9 to 10 days that would fit. And I implicitly trust whatever John Yu has to say on it, because he does not say things unless he has knowledge of it. If Kalen DeBoer doesn't come to Michigan or doesn't entertain the offer, which we have legitimate reason to think that this will be something he at least entertains. If they have to pivot to a Kenny Dillingham or someone like that, maybe it's closer to that 5 to 7 days or something like that. But I think they're going to give this Kalen DeBoer thing a real try. And if DeBoer were to come to Michigan, I think it'd be far less shocking than how everything came together, about a decade ago with Jim Harbaugh.
Can I ask just real quick, just follow up on that? Do you think there's a realistic chance? Because we saw Penn State do it when Penn State opened up. They just put their hat into a million different coaches like Marcus Freeman. They just went out there and just at least offered coaches. Do you think Michigan just takes those chances? Because I feel like Michigan's a little more prestigious in a job than like a Penn State. Do you think they go out and like Dan Lanning, Marcus Freeman, and they just throw their hat into a bunch of guys just to see if, hey, like, let's see if someone bites at that? Do you see them kind of making that move?
I think given the timeline, I think this will be a little more focused. Sure, you put feelers out there. Again, I'm not 100% sure who's going to run and head the search yet. I think Michigan is still figuring that out. It seems like the Regents and Ward at least tabled his future today. So start sailing in the same direction there a bit. I don't think this will be like the Penn State search where it's like a million names are out there and you just guys just keep magically getting extensions off of it. I think Michigan knows it has a little less than 3 weeks here to really, and again, you need to get the right guy. Like if that means you lose player X, like you need to make the right decision for 10 years than for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, however long that guy would be here. I think a legitimate, respected hire will be able to keep most of this roster together. But in order to do that, I mean, you've got 20 where we stand today. You got 20 days to the Citrus Bowl, and then I think another 22 or another 2 or 3 days after that when the transfer portal opens. Now, technically, the portal's open for all of these guys now when there is a search, but everyone's kind of in a holding pattern at the moment, and especially with the guys that could be the core of next year's team. I think they're waiting to see what this hire looks like. So yeah, long-winded way of saying, I think this will come. I would agree it would probably come in the next 10 days, but the 5 days, unless you flat out get a no from Kalen DeBoer, I think that would probably be a bit quick because to my knowledge, no one's been interviewed yet. Sure, there might have been some back channeling, but we haven't exactly fired up the flight trackers yet. So.
And just to clarify too, because it's probably the biggest, I think one of the bigger conversations surrounding hiring a new head coach is what does Bryce Underwood do? Just to clarify, and I've seen at least the report that his camp is waiting on the hire of a head coach, because you see already the LSU stuff. He originally was committed there. Lane Kiffin just got hired there. So what you're basically saying is this hire is going to come down to whether or not potentially that decision could be made from a Bryce Underwood is the importance of this next head coach, or you think it's one of those things where it's just wait and see either way with Bryce? Is there a worry there, or is it based on the hire you think strictly?
I'll just put it this way. I don't think Bryce Underwood came to Michigan because Sherrone Moore was there.
That's fair. That's fair.
There is money helped, but he's kind of like their linchpin piece and has already made a lot of connections there. I don't think there's any coincidence that a lot of the names we're hearing early on are on the offensive side of the ball. We're talking about Kalen DeBoer, Kenny Dillingham, who I'm a big fan of. I think he checks a lot of the boxes that a guy like a Matt Campbell, who if Matt Campbell was available right now, would be number one on my board. Outside of Caleb DeBoer, of course. So,
Right.
Jed Fish, I don't think that's a super high upside hire, but pretty decently high floor. So yeah, I have no issue saying that. Like, yeah, it's going to come down to the hire, and if a guy like Bryce Underwood feels like he's going to be developed. But I'll say this: even before Sherrone Moore was fired by Michigan, schools are calling already. The buzzards are kind of waiting to pick at this thing, and I think that Michigan's players wisely are at least now. Again, all hell could break loose this weekend. All hell could break loose now, and that's just it's all kind of minute to minute here, but. My understanding is that the linchpin signees and the guys that are already on the team are taking a measured approach. There's a lot more relief with this than there is guys finding an excuse to leave, right? So that's where we're at right now.
Well, we appreciate you, Anthony, for taking the time to join. I know you're on enjoy your vacation, enjoy the game. I know you're not going to stop working, so try to get some sleep or just keep pumping caffeine in you, whatever gets you through the day, Anthony. We appreciate it.
Like I said, minute to minute, day to day. But be a fun weekend, and a little busier now, but time to make the donuts. That's what we do here.
Let's go.
I love it. There you go. Anthony
Right.
Broome. You can check him out on X at Anthony T. Broome. He does a great job.
What a legend. Joining us on with his PTO. That's the best. I love people who help us out like that. That's amazing.
Using PTO to join our show. That's incredible. That might be a first, to be honest with you.
Yeah, honestly. On vacations, like I texted him today. I was like, it's such when like breaking stories come out, it's like, I'm so sorry it's such late notice. Like tonight, can you come on? And he's like, I'm on a flight to LA right now. But I should be able to. And I'm like, what a guy, dude.
He's one of the best. He's
best. I have so much respect. He came on when I did a solo show. When you were on vacation and came on and did a show with me, he was a legend for that.
Now I will say too, I wanted to bring this up earlier. The Adam Schefter comment today. Adam Schefter, can you shut the hell up?
He always makes mistakes in big moments. Does he not? Does Schefter not? I feel like he always does.
He does this like this comment. He says, what we haven't heard yet is Sherrone Moore's side of this. And he gets his say in this particular situation as well. I do know he felt like people had it in him for an awful long time. Adam, read the room, bro.
That first part of the whole quote, like let's just cut that one out of your teleprompter. Let's just take that one out.
Read the freaking room, dude. I mean, I again, he's going to get his say. I mean, from the looks of it, again, we'll see what happens, but it'll be in court. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I think all the facts that have been reported on, I mean, what is there to really be said? I mean, maybe to explain why he did it, but other than that, you kind of know what it is. I mean, maybe again, not his side of it, but which I would like to know his side. But at the end of the day, it's like the deed's already done. I mean, he got arrested. The reporting by people like John U. Bacon, Pete Thamel, like respected people it's already out there. You kind of know what happened. Maybe not all the details of why it happened or when it started or stuff like that, but yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm being an ass. And by the way, this is going to sound like I'm being an ass. It frustrates me because I think, I don't know, again, I'm not going to say that Sherrone Moore has not, maybe he does feel like it, I don't know what he's thinking right now. It could be full, just, taking accountability. I messed up, whatever. I don't like that now it's coming down to like the mental health issues when all this stuff happens. Like, because when you pull the mental health issue card, now everyone starts throwing out like, well, you feel sorry. It's like, man, he's having some mental health issues. Dude, these are self-inflicted. Like,
yeah,
didn't you have mental health issues a month ago when you were coaching at U of M? Like now that you got caught, all of a sudden he's having a meltdown, like, which is terrible. But it's like, dude, it's hard for me to feel sorry for a dude who has all these. It's all self-inflicted wounds. Like,
yeah, I think
himself.
With that though, like the mental health comment, I'm not a psychologist like the doc is that we have on yesterday. He probably can have a little bit more say on that because he went to school for it. But in my opinion, like the mental health that's been reported about him going crazy, like I think it's more so of he's just going crazy. I don't think it's like, hey, mental health, he's been going through it the last few months. I think it's the last few days. In my opinion, let's connect the dots here a little bit. All right, Jeff, let's connect these dots. The last few days he's been having these mental health issues, right? Now, I'm not saying the mental health issues are him, being depressed or this. I think the mental health issues are maybe a couple days ago, he found out that this person that was involved was going to go to the top dogs at Michigan and turn them in and give the evidence up. You know what I'm saying? And that was him starting to go crazy a little bit. And he starts what you said earlier with some of the reports of, being a little on edge with, people that works with him, this and that. And then it obviously the staffer does go forward, as Duncan in the chat said, comes forward, gives the stuff, and he just goes crazy after he gets fired and he finds out that she did come forward. Like I think that's the mental health. I don't think if people are taking it as a mental health, like, hey man, like he's been depressed, upset for the last couple weeks. Like I think there's different types of mental health, in my opinion. I think he was going crazy. I think this man was having like a midlife crisis breakdown, and he was crashing out over the last couple of days. When maybe a couple of days ago, potentially he might have found out she was going to go to the higher ups and turn him in, and he probably started going crazy about that. And that was when he started stalking her and This is all allegedly, but I'm just trying to connect the dots here.
No, you're right.
And Simo's right. Like it is self-inflicted. Like. And it's like, yeah, you don't feel bad. Like I feel bad for people who have legit mental health issues, who get depressed or, they need help or they feel alone or this or that. You know what I'm saying? Like there are those moments. But man, when you do something to this magnitude, right? Like it's a self-inflicted wound. Like you did this. There's no like, hey man, you're going through mental health. Like we need to, no, like it's, dude, you did this. Like this is on you, man. Like these are decisions. And I think, again, dude, I keep going back and I want you to watch, Jeff, like John Jansen breaking this thing down today. I thought he said everything just so well. Like, man, like John Jansen was like, I just spoke with him and did an interview with him on Wednesday, and he's sitting there telling me about the integrity of the program and how he wants to be a good role model for these kids and this and that. And he's like, what are you like? And you're going to go out and you've been doing this the whole time? Like, you're a leader of essentially, like you could say, like almost $1 billion institution, right? Like, or like a program when it comes to Michigan football, like the amount of money that's thrown into it. You're the leader. Like people rely on you. Like John Jansen said, like 2 days ago, they hired a special teams coordinator. Like he's about to move his family up to Ann Arbor. Think about the coaches that moved their family there. Think about like those families and kids, like the student athletes that moved to Ann Arbor. It's like, dude, you just like, you make those decisions. It affects hundreds, if not thousands of people because you're selfish. He's selfish. Yeah, it's a selfish move. So the mental health, like that goes out the window at that point, man. You're going crazy, man. Go to jail. Stay in jail. That's on you.
In my opinion, I think there's a massive difference between mental health or mental illness and a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
A mental breakdown is something that happens when, you have massive stress, which probably Sherrone Moore's dealing with. But kind of like the inability to deal with stress. You have these overwhelming emotions, whatever. You have all this stuff, an event that happens that causes you to have a mental breakdown. And then there's mental illness, which that's an actual thing, many people suffer from. I think he just had a mental breakdown. I don't think he's suffering from any mental illness. I think he just had a mental breakdown because it's a situation in which you lose your probably your dream gig as a head coach at Michigan. You potentially lose your family. That can ruin a man. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just a mental breakdown he's dealing with right now. He's going off the deep end. And John U. Bacon, actually what you said, what you just said is, I want to bring this up because I saw this today. I want to bring it up on the show. But this is John U. Bacon's reporting. So he broke down what happened.
By the way,
dude, John U. Bacon's another one.
I have his alerts on the last couple. He has been dominating. With this stuff.
He's killing it. He clarified kind of what happened. He said John U. Bacon reports that a Michigan football staffer, believed in some reports to be Paige Shiver, went to the university administration office Wednesday morning with receipts, text messages, emails, documents, and so on, disclosing the alleged affair with former head coach Sherrone Moore after both had previously denied any relationship in a summer investigation. So what Anthony brought up, they already were asked about it. They denied it. She brought it up on Wednesday. According to Bacon, the evidence led school leaders and AD Ward Manuel to fire Moore with cause around midday. Bacon further reports that later that day, Moore allegedly, this is after Moore broke into the employee's home in Pittsfield Township, grabbed a knife, threatened to harm her and himself, leading to his arrest. So that's the kind of the timeline is Wednesday morning. She comes and says, hey, here's all the evidence. This is what's been going on. I know we denied it. Here's what it is. They fire him. He freaks out because he probably thinks she turned on him or whatever. He goes off the deep end.
Man.
I mean, that's a crazy turn of events and within basically in the same day. I mean, from being fired to being arrested, that all happened in a single day. It's wild.
It's such a weird thing. Like, there's the side of it too. Like, did Michigan cover it up? Like, it sounds like they've been. I don't know. I'm going to say be honest about it because it sounds like they did the investigation in the summertime and it came out. I don't know if you've heard this, Jeff, where they're like, we didn't have the evidence to be able to. Like, they both denied it. There was no text at the time. There was no emails. It was just more so hearsay. So they investigated it and everyone denied it. But it sounded like allegedly. This all allegedly. I've seen on Twitter. I've seen on different places that lots of people, and obviously we know a lot of people who knew about this for months, that, you know, I'm not just talking about like one or two people, like everyone. Like, there's people, like I was on his Twitter Spaces and Portnoy was doing one, and Spiro actually got to talk on it. It was kind of funny. It was a good back and forth. But like, even Portnoy was like, dude, I've heard about this back in October or September. Like, he's like, I've heard about this. So it's like everyone knew about this, but they didn't have the evidence, right? And they were trying to figure, like, so they couldn't do anything about it. And then obviously John U. Bacon reports that yesterday. I don't know what turned. I don't know what happened, what made her all of a sudden just yesterday be like, boom, I'm going to come forward with information.
Allegedly, he's been kind of stalking her. I don't know.
Maybe that was, and she kind of had enough. Maybe yesterday was a turning point because, like, a lot of people are like, well, Michigan wasn't sweeping it under the rug, you know, all these different things. But it was like they just hired a special teams. Sherrone Moore hired a special teams coordinator days ago. So it's like if they knew and they were going to do something, and then all of a sudden, boom, she just comes out with it. Like, if they were going to, like, people being like, they did it after the signing period. Why did they let him hire a special teams coach if they waited till after the signing period to let this come out and then fire him? I think it was a legit case
Wednesday morning.
She just came out of nowhere and said, I'm finally done with this. Here it is. And allegedly too, I think I sent you guys text of screenshots of like tweets, and obviously tweets, it could be anything. It sounded like potentially there was like, even like, I don't know if this is real or fake, like even players that throughout the year have, you know, obviously if random people outside of the program and around the country know about this and had rumblings about it back in October, you would think that people in the program, like players and stuff, knew that this was happening. And there were still people that signed, right, after even hearing probably about this stuff.
Like, you don't think, again, just my opinion, you don't think people in the locker room or assistant coaches kind of had a feeling about this?
Oh, but they probably heard rumors.
They already kind of knew. But this is one of those things that you're not going to be the guy to rat, and, you know, and be the one to try and take down your boss, basically, if you're an assistant head coach. Like, you're just going to let this thing play out. I think she was kind of the linchpin in this whole thing. She went directly to the higher ups and said, hey, this is what's been happening. And that's what kind of led to this whole downfall. I think it was Wednesday. I kind of believe that report. I don't know. They might have had an inkling or some, you know, maybe feeling, but again, you can't do anything if you don't have the evidence. And she gave them all the evidence Wednesday morning. So,
and then they did something about it right away. I do think that's like, obviously I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, Michigan high horse. I'm glad that they finally like stepped up and just fired the guy. And I know they probably wanted to fire him anyways, and they were able to do it with cause, so they didn't have to pay a buyout or do any of that. So for them, it was probably easy to pull the trigger. I'm going to sit here and believe like maybe they actually for once did the right thing, but then obviously here how Ward Manuel went about it. Like, he went about it the fully wrong way.
Yeah, I mean, even this, like, even if all the people ratted on him more, if he and the woman says no relationship, then nothing sticks.
So obviously, like in the summertime, someone had to have said they got a tip somehow. So they did an investigation. They just couldn't figure it out, and they had nothing on it. So they didn't. My theory is, this is my theory too, Jeff. Like a lot of people are like, well, Bryce is leaving. All these guys are leaving. My theory is these guys are going to stay. I text you guys this. I saw someone tweet it out that maybe the players all knew about this, had a feeling about it, and they just didn't like Sherrone Moore. So now the fact that he's leaving and they're going to get a new coach, a lot of these guys are pumped up. Like, I think Anthony Broome's kind of spot on. Like, I don't think Bryce Underwood just was like, I'm coming to Michigan all because of Sherrone Moore. I think he grew up in Michigan. He's grown up a Michigan fan. You saw his signing video where it came out, and he was like, since a kid, a Michigan Wolverines fan. He legit wants to be in Ann Arbor and win a national championship in Michigan. I think there's a chance in the back end where like a lot of these guys maybe just didn't like Sherrone Moore. So maybe they stay with it if Kalen DeBoer comes in or Kenny Dillingham. I think the only issue is it's like you got to get a guy in here sooner rather than later, because you got to get a guy in here to talk to these guys. Like Biff can only do, Coach Biff, our guy Coach Biff, Jeff, that drives a Rolls Royce, he can only do so much. But you got to get someone in here that's able to tell these guys and all these signees, Hitter and all of them, like, hey, we're still winning a national championship next year. Like, we're still going to the college football playoffs. And you need that quick. Like, you need a leader in that building, like, ASAP. No Rocky.
Yeah. Well, let's let that one kind of settle for a second.
You tell me that one.
I do want to talk about what Joe Klatt said. Joe Klatt had his list of hires that Michigan should consider. We'll break that down, and then we'll get to some Lions-Rams right after I tell you about our friends over at Sleeper and Sleeper Picks. We'll see you in a minute. Pardon my interruption to the show, but I'm here to tell you about our friends over at Sleeper Fantasy, but specifically Sleeper Picks. Lions-Rams is this weekend, and I'm going to hook you up with my picks. The first one I'm going with is Jahmyr Gibbs, more than 0.5 touchdowns. I think he gets in. Same with Devontae Adams. I'm also going more on Matthew Stafford's passing yards and more on Jamison Williams' receiving yards, which seems to be a pretty safe bet over the last couple of weeks. Those are my picks. You guys can tail those picks. And Sleeper Picks is very simple to use. It's a real money product that connects friends over picks. You choose 2 to 8 of your favorite players from pregame, like I did with Lions-Rams. You can do it live or across different sports. Pick more or less than the predicted stats. And on Sleeper, you can get up to 1,000x payouts. Share with your friends, get rewarded together. Use our code as well, CT Sports, to get in on the action. Gamble responsibly, and shout out to them for sponsoring the video as always. Now let's get back to it.
Can I get on one of these ads and put a sleeper parlay in, man? What do I have to do to get my face on one of these ads, man? That's a great parlay. Good job, dude. I love that.
You like it?
Yeah, dude.
J-Mo over on Matthew Stafford passing yards, TD Devontae, TD Jahmyr.
Yeah, no, dude. I think
I might just steal it.
Did you make that yourself?
Yeah.
Wow, dude. That's unbelievable.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would love to have one of those, man. I'd be sick if I could throw mine out there.
By the way, I got sent a shout out to Kyle from Dog and Pony Show Brewing. He sent me like a big DraftKings parlay. He put in a cool 100 yards in it.
It's probably going to happen. Shout out Kyle too, man. I'm excited to meet him. I haven't met Kyle yet, so
he's one of the dudes. He's one of those guys that you'll love him.
I feel like I'm gonna get along very well with Kyle.
He texted me, he said I'm a degenerate gambler. So and he drinks beer. I mean, those 2 things right there.
That's all. That's my life.
Yeah, I was gonna say he fits right in.
Me and him might be best friends.
Yeah, fits right in. Joe Klatt, that's my guy. All right, so
I saw the list, by the way.
He wasn't playing around, dude. He actually believes what you asked Anthony, kind of what you asked him was like, hey, should Michigan just go and shoot for the stars and then kind of work your way down? Klatt had a show today. I watched it, and he said that Michigan should make these coaches say no. He said you should make them say no, kind of like what Penn State did. Call them, offer it. They say no, make them say no. He mentioned these names. These are the 3 names he said, make them say no. Marcus Freeman, Dan Lanning, Kirk Cignetti. Those are the 3. And then he has others that are more assistants or guys that would probably take the job. But those are the 3. He said, shoot for the stars right away.
I love if any one of those became the Michigan head coach, I would be absolute head over heels. If anyone,
I think Marcus Freeman goes to the NFL.
I think there's a world with Marcus Freeman if he doesn't go to the NFL. I know like he was linked with the Giants job. And I know like that looked like that there's potential, there's a lot of candidates for that one. Your guy over with the Packers that you love so much, the defensive coordinator. You bring him up. I'm not saying you love him, but you bring him up quite often.
See,
yeah.
And
you
he's pump him up. He's from New Jersey.
Yeah. Too. So it feels like he might get the New York Giants job. I think all right, Marcus Freeman. Want to start with Marcus Freeman? I think with Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame is a prestigious pro. I was thinking about this on my drive to do the show. It's like, the example that I thought of was like Lincoln Riley from Oklahoma to USC, where it's like Oklahoma, that man had multiple Heisman winners, right? With Jalen Hurts, with Kyler Murray. He had multiple Heisman winners. Yeah. Multiple. And he had Oklahoma almost on top. They didn't win a national championship, but man, they were winning a lot. And he, out of nowhere, goes, I'm going to USC. Jeff, why did he go to USC? Two things: prestigious program and the money. There was two things, right? And especially getting into the NIL and the transfer portal era, when you're running a transfer portal, it's easier to get players to a prestigious program. And two, if NIL, if its school has money, you want to be there. It's like the reason Lane Kiffin just went to LSU. I think there's a legit thought process when it comes to some of these coaches. Curt Cignetti, I know they just extended him, or even a Dan Lanning. They have a lot of money with Nike there and Phil Knight and all of that.
Tough. That's a tough
one. But prestigious program, right? Like Oregon's won a lot, but you could argue like Michigan's it's USC, Michigan, LSU, Bama, like those are the programs. And I think there's a world where, man, like it's a long shot, but you have a better chance at Michigan to draw one of those guys than Penn State had. You know what I mean? Like Penn State tried it. They never had a chance to do it with anyone. At Michigan, you have a legit chance. Like there's going to be coaches that are at the Oregons and Notre Dames that might sit there and think about it and actually consider and go, wait a second. Like, oh, got it. Like, let me talk to my family about this. And I think with Notre Dame, Jeff, the thing with Notre Dame, I think if Marcus Freeman doesn't go to the NFL, I think with that, this with Notre Dame, man. One, they're going through this situation. They just had 2 losses, didn't make the college football playoffs. Why? Not in a conference. Are they going to get in one? Nope. They're not. And it's harder to recruit at Notre Dame. It's harder because it's hard to get into Notre Dame. So that's always been an issue with transfers and NIL or in recruiting is that. So in Michigan, you do have that problem a little bit, but it's probably an easier place and probably more money. So I think if any of those happen, like, dude, I'm all in. Sark, I don't know if Sark does, man. He's an SEC guy.
Yeah.
I think what would happen if DeBoer comes to Michigan, I think Sark goes to Bama. I think see that mix up.
Yeah, because you said Sark is an SEC guy. DeBoer is a Big Ten guy.
Yep.
He was at Washington, but he's a Big Ten guy. So
yeah.
Even though Alabama's Alabama's a premier job. Like some guys have their preferences, and the only reason why I think you'd have a shot at Kalen DeBoer is because his heart, I think, is in the Big Ten. Most guys would. Most 99% of coaches would probably never leave Alabama, but he's the one you might be able to convince because I think he would much rather be in the Big Ten. I also like. He threw in a couple other names. Joe Claddy. He threw in Vanderbilt head coach Clark Lee.
Clark Lee's a good one.
Yep, he's up there. Was at Notre Dame as a DC. Mike Elko, Texas A&M head coach. He said I would at least make the call. Kenny Dillingham, Arizona State. He said I'd make the call.
Dude, what are your thoughts on Kenny Dillingham? Because he's young, dude. I think I hear people be like, he doesn't have the experience yet. I don't care, to be honest. You bring him to Michigan, man. What he did at Arizona State with, dude, his quarterback, Sam Leavitt, dude, last year he was almost a Heisman candidate. You could have argued. And his quarterback just went to the transfer portal because Arizona State can't pay the guy. They don't have enough money to pay a quarterback to that level. And he had to go to the media, Jeff, this week and be like, they asked him about paying players, and he's like, if I have players leave, man, I'm happy for them. He's a good dude. He's like, I'm happy for them to go get money somewhere. If he's at Michigan, no one's leaving. You have money.
He's an offensive guy. He was at Oregon. I
think he would be great.
Good one. He's a great one, actually.
And did he not work down in the SEC for a little bit? Wasn't he recruiting down there?
He's done.
Where was he?
So he's been around. He was with
Auburn for a little bit, Florida State.
Yes, OC and at Florida State. He was the OC at Auburn and at Florida State and at Oregon. So he was the OC, and then 2023 he was hired by Arizona State. But yeah, he was he's got. That's a guy, offensive guy for sure.
Yeah, I would love Kenny Dillingham. I think honestly, if you can't, poach one of these big coaches, I think I would go with Kenny Dillingham. That'd be my next choice. If I'm being dead honest with you, like I would love to throw everything at Kenny Dillingham, and he can't say no.
No, I mean, he also threw out, which I don't know if he'll leave the NFL, but Jesse Minter, who was a part of Jim Harbaugh's staff, Minter, Indiana defensive coordinator Brian Haynes. He was under Kirk Cignetti forever, and he just had the performance against Ohio State. That's another guy. Georgia DC, Glenn Schumann. And apparently, I didn't know this, Glenn Schumann, he's defensive coordinator of Georgia. Klotz said, did you know he's either been a student assistant, graduate assistant, position coach, or coordinator for 6 national championship teams? He goes, he has seen it. He knows what it takes. I would call it Glenn.
I'm so interested. I think they want big names. So when I was on the Dave Portnoy, he was doing his spaces. He said that he spoke, like, obviously he's very tied in, and he said he spoke with people obviously who have money there and like bigger donors who are probably going to be involved a little bit. And he was trying to get names, and he said that those people are like throwing out big names. Like they want a big coach, like they want a big time coach. And he was essentially even like the Gruden thing. He was like, Gruden's most likely won't happen. He was like, I tried to throw his name out there, and like they want like, he's like, I tried, probably won't happen. But it seems like they want to like go after some big dogs.
Well,
such an interesting thing, man.
Yeah, and we'll be covering. I mean, it's exciting. I'm curious to see who they end up hiring, because it is one of the bigger hires. And I mean, the last. Yeah.
Can I say too?
Yeah, go on.
Final thing. I want to hold on. John U. Bacon. He tweeted out. This is the last thing. We can move on. About Ward Manuel. He said, not sure how committed the University of Michigan Regents are to retain AD Ward Manuel, but he's still the AD as of Thursday evening, and apparently he's surviving a few conference calls. Interim President Grasso says the investigation to more drama is ongoing. So Ward Manuel's still the AD. He should have been fired like 12 hours ago.
Anthony brought up so many. I mean, all the stuff. We're talking not even football related, but like the Juwan Howard stuff. Like he brought up the hockey side of it with different controversies there. There's like controversies everywhere.
Dude, man.
There's
been players with loaded guns. There's been players. I was listening to 97.1 this morning. Someone called in and was like, they had a basketball player that got in an accident in Ward Manuel's car. I'm pretty sure. Allegedly, I guess. I don't know if it's real or not. I don't want us to get, but I'm pretty like someone said that on there, and I was like, what? That's
insane. By the way, no Brian Kelly.
I'm not on Brian. If Brian Kelly's the head coach, by the way, Klotz in our group chat, like just the names he throws out there. I don't even know if I can go back and like read.
He might be 0 for 8 on suggestions.
I can't tell if he's serious or if he's trolling. It feels like there's maybe like a little bit of a troll to it, but some of these names, man, are. I'm trying to find some here to see. Caleb texting us saying Phillip Rivers. That's hilarious. Klotz said Josh McCown.
Bro, Josh McCown. You're not getting Josh McCown.
Brian Kelly.
No.
It's just some of these names, dude. It's insane to me.
Jesus. All right. Let's get to Lions Rams. Hey, by the way, I saw what you put in prep, this MVP list.
How interesting is that, dude?
I thought this was so ESPN came out with an article basically ranking MVP candidates that could get hot. So there's 2 clear favorites. There's Drake May, Matthew Stafford. This ESPN article lists other candidates that, if they were to get hot, could be in the race or surprise people, enter the race, maybe be a shocking MVP candidate and or winner. And the names they have on here, they have 2 Lions players on this list. The first one they have on here, though, they have Pat Mahomes, which there's always going to be Pat Mahomes. He's always going to be on this freaking list. They could be 2 and 10, and he'd still be on the list. Yeah. So Pat Mahomes is here.
He's not getting close to MVP.
Josh Allen's here. Now we can talk. Okay, I think that's okay. I don't hate that. Josh Allen's here. Then you have Jahmyr Gibbs on this list. Jahmyr Gibbs, running back, MVP
Can I ask you this? 1 to 10. What is your confidence level that he even becomes a finalist? 1 to 10.
0.
Wow. Wow. So this guy just hates the Lions.
Well, the finalist? No. Unless
top 5 essentially it comes down to. So you already have Drake May and Stafford.
I would say Josh Allen. I think honestly they have a better case in Indy for Jonathan Taylor if they win. So if he plays well, he'll be the running back with more MVP votes.
But what if they don't win though? That's the problem. Like they're not winning. Who's their quarterback again?
Who's their Phillip Rivers?
They're not winning. I've been the guy all year on them.
You know who I think would be on this list more so if they do end up if they went out or something, and who would be more in consideration? Jared Goff, Jordan Love. You know, like I think quarterbacks ultimately get the nod unless you're having a historic year, which like Gibbs is having a great year, but he's not. I mean, I'm talking like guys like you're rushing for 2,000 yards, you're going to end up getting a finalist. I just don't think he's going to be a finalist, but I think it's interesting. I mean, he's balling. He's one of the more important players. I mean, the most important player on offense. He's been the engine. So, but yeah, I don't know if I would say. What would you say?
I mean, I would say 0 as well. I think for Jahmyr Gibbs, I know I'm surprised. I think for Jahmyr Gibbs. By the way, that hoodie, I didn't realize it's a Crunch Time. You got a UNC colored Crunch Time upside down hoodie. This guy got like the biggest merch haul of all time.
I just got 2 hoodies.
That's incredible. I mean, you got 2 great. You should have done a little fashion thing for me, man.
Oh yeah, dude! I told you.
Different colors.
Yeah, well, I'm trying. I tried out a different color.
You should have hit me with a couple. You should. When I said, "Hey, just give me a black hoodie," you should have texted me. I know, but you should have texted me and said, "Booner, I got you. I'm getting you a certain color."
Okay, I'll get you a different color.
Give me a different color. Surprise me with the color too. Just don't make it like burgundy or something weird. Make it like a color, a nice color. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
By the way, free shout out. Get your merch, man.
Dude, it's unbelievable.
I mean, look at the. I mean,
yeah, dude. Has mine came in yet?
No, it's in a couple days. It'll be.
Can I order another hoodie?
Yeah. I'll order.
I want to get another one, like different color. Well, you already got. You got me the upside down one. I'll do a different design, but I'll find the design.
I'll get you a cool color if you want.
But I want a cool color, dude. I'll send
you the color. How about this? I'll send you the colors, and you tell me the design and tell me the color. Okay, and then you can pick. You can get it.
All right, then we could work there with that. Hey, I'm not a fashion guy. I'm not good with fashion though. You got me beating.
That's why I was like, I'm gonna order a freaking baby blue UNC.
That's unreal, dude.
Yeah. I'm flexing. Okay, merch is merch, man.
Cool boy said Booner's trying to watch Jeff strut his stuff. No, that's not what's happening here. Listen, if anyone knows, I'm not a fashion. I'm not a guy that has good style. I learned my style from my friends. Jeff is one of the friends that has a little style. I need my friends to pick me up in style when it comes like this. Who told me to get one of who put me on one of these? My friend Jeff did.
Yeah.
I was at the store with him. He said, "Boone, this is good." I said, "All right, I'll get it." I'll say this though. All right, sorry, that was a very, very far off track.
No, it's a free merch plug. It was the right
great merch. Yeah. I love that merch, dude. That just fired me up. And then yesterday he had the brown one. Like, this guy, he's going new sweatshirt every day on me. He texted me and said, "Boone, I'm getting one. Do you want a sweatshirt? I'm getting one." He got me one. This guy's got 5 new sweatshirts. It's unreal.
I got the brown and the. I tried 2 branded colors, brown and blue.
Man, that is unreal, dude. That's so funny. I'll say this though. Let's get back on track. Jahmyr Gibbs. I would probably give like a 1 out of 10. Listen, the only way that he could ever get a chance to be in the MVP race moving forward, the next 4 games. Remember that game he had like 200 all-purpose yards?
Yes.
He needs to do that like every game moving forward. Like if he does that almost like, all right, maybe not every game, but if he does that like 2 or 3 out of the 4 games, and he has like
the Rams, like
yes, and he's like 220 all-purpose yards with like 3 touchdowns, and then next week he's like, oh, whatever, 100 all-purpose, and then the next week another 100 all-purpose. But then the final week, going into week 18, on the road versus the Bears to go to the playoffs, he goes like 250, another 3. You're going, wait a second. He needs to be in.
Sneak his way in there.
Yeah, so he needs to have a couple of those games again. I think I think that's the only way, but I don't think he'll get into that conversation.
Yeah, I think well, Christian McCaffrey's on here as well. I don't know.
I think he has a better chance, to be honest. He's put up numbers, dude.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You also have Jonathan Taylor on this list, of course, but he I don't know what's going to happen without Daniel Jones. They might just stack the box, make Phillip Rivers beat him. So he might have a more tougher time here in the next couple of weeks to kind of go off.
Yeah.
I don't know. I say that now, but he could still play really well. But it's going to be tough. I mean, if your defense is, what are you going to do? You're stacking the box. You're going to be like, all right, 44-year-old Phillip Rivers beat us. Like, I'm not. Daniel Jones was at least he was playing like a legit threat this year. He was balling. So he's on here. Jared Goff's on here, which, by the way, I'm glad that he's on here because like here, it says right here, let's see, just for fun, let's compare numbers for two players as we enter week 15. So this is him and Stafford's numbers. You see here about the same yards for two quarterbacks, about the same yards passing, touchdown passes, interceptions. Obviously, Stafford has 8 more. 9 more. But the interceptions are down for Goff.
Yep.
So he's playing. He's not having I know people, and I think you have an argument because of the narrative. I'm not saying he's going to be a finalist, but what I'm saying is he has an argument because offensive coordinator switch, offensive line issues, injuries. Like, you can kind of say a bunch of crap for Goff to make the argument a little better. So
I think if Goff, like if let's say they go 4-0 and Goff plays and I brought this up a couple days ago to you. I was like, hey man, like look at Jared Goff's stats. Like it quietly, just because the season's been so bad, not bad, but like it's been underwhelming compared to like the expectations. I was like quietly, like I think I texted, like, go look at Jared Goff's stats. Like he's kind of on track to have the same season as last year, maybe yards wise a little less, but like less interceptions, around the same amount of touchdowns. The completion percentage is around the same. Like he's almost top 5 in every single quarterback category. And you're like, wait a second, like feels like they've been playing bad. No, Jared's been playing well, man. That's why it's so confusing to me sometimes when they lose. I think there's a lot of Lions fans and people who instantly go to like the Jared Goff conversation. Like, you can't win with Jared Goff. And it's like, I just don't think he's been anywhere near the reason why you've been losing this year. Like, I think he's been playing incredible football, to be honest, man. He's been doing what he can. And like, think about this, Jeff. Me and you had the argument in the offseason, and I think Klotz was involved in it as well. Like, hey, Jared's not going to do what he did last year because of new OC, because of worse offensive line. Frank's gone. Zeitler's gone. And he's put the same numbers up with, and we see it firsthand how bad this offensive line is at times. Like, how bad. And he's put the numbers up with that. And then in the middle of the season, this guy's dealt with a play calling change. They took John Morton off play calling, and he's dealt with Dan Campbell. So he's had 2 new play callers in one season, and he's still putting these numbers up. It's something, man. I think it's incredible.
I'm impressed with is, despite the bad protection at times, dude, he does not turn the ball over. He has no lost fumbles this year and 5 picks. Like, that's impressive to me, man. Like,
2 of the picks were tipped, and it wasn't tipped on his fault. It was two of those interceptions. His own players dropped the ball in the defense. So like, really, like, maybe it was 2. It might have been 3. So I think 2 or 3 of his interceptions are like probably legit. I don't even know. I guess you'd have to go back and look at the 5 that he has. I would almost argue most of them were not his fault.
I mean, just to go off the top of my head, the Giants game, it was tipped. That's 1.
Amon-Ra dropped a pass.
That wasn't the Eagles one tipped, or was that? I can't remember. There was 2 or 3.
I know 2 of them were drop passes where it went through the hands of Lions with wide receivers, right in the hands. Ball goes in the air, interception. Someone just put one of them was tipped at the line of scrimmage, probably the Eagles, because they kept tipping it. That's another one. So you're sitting there like, and then I don't even know what the other 2 are. We're just guessing. Maybe the other 2 are he's just made a bad decision, and that's it. Like, he's made 2 bad. Like, that's. And I know he did have a game this year where it was like he was really bad in that Eagles game. He was missing throws. Outside of that, man, like last year, his worst game, he was an MVP candidate. What was his worst game? 5 interceptions in one game? 4 or whatever it was?
He's had 12 picks the last 2 years. So he's on pace for his lowest amount of picks in his career. Well, I think The lowest was in LA. He had 7. He's on pace to have one of his lowest years.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. Hopefully it doesn't.
It's incredible, dude. I wouldn't be shocked, man, if they go 3-1 to end the year, and they beat the Rams or they beat the Bears to make the playoffs, and he continues to put numbers up. I think there's an argument to have him as a finalist.
Well, let's talk about the actual finalists. Matthew Stafford, Calvin Shepard talked about him today. So Calvin spoke about Matthew and had some high praise for him, and talked about really the passing offense that they're facing, because Calvin said it in the beginning of the press conference, man. Like he said, the 2 things they're working on is big plays. Obviously the big plays, the passing defense. It was an issue against the Cowboys. He obviously praised the sacks and the interceptions, the forced fumbles, but you're talking about an offense with the Rams that have, I think, the most big plays in the NFL. I think it's like 20 or more yards. They have the most. So for a team that just gave up a bunch of big plays against the Cowboys, now they're going into a game where they have the most big plays. This offense. Calvin spoke about it. Let's take a listen to what he had to say, and then we'll talk about the matchup here. But here's Calvin Shepard.
MVP level. I think they lead the league with 50 completions of 20-plus yards. That's kind of what they do. Just what's the challenge there, and how do you go about trying to limit that unit?
Hall of Fame quarterback. Matthew's a teammate of mine. Have the utmost respect for him. I really do, man. To be playing at the level that he's playing at his age is pretty remarkable. And I mean, it's not too shabby, the guys that he's throwing the ball to either. He has 2 number 1s over there in Puka and Devontae. We recognize that. And he does a good job giving those guys 50-50 opportunities, in my opinion. Those guys are covered up on a lot of those plays. You see that you're talking about, Tim, that travels further than 20 yards. And he allows his guys opportunity to go up and make a play. And they do that for the most part. And that stands out on tape to us. And we've addressed it. We've talked about it. But now it's all about going out and executing. You can only do so much schematically as a coach, because they also have a pretty good running attack. I don't think they get enough credit. And Sean does a great job with the design of his offense. Brilliant coach, in my opinion. Just the way he keeps you off balance, as far as he makes everything look the same. Is what every coach tries to do now in the modern day. But some people say it and some people do it, and he's one of the coaches that actually do it. As far as making it all look the same, no matter the personnel grouping, some people say it's a simplistic offense, but when you start to incorporate the amount of turbo motion, the volume that they do it at in the run-in pass game, it can become challenging. But we just got to be detailed with our rules this week, understanding when people move, how that affects you coverage-wise and run-fit-wise.
When I did Lions Collective this week, the thing that Justin Rogers brought up is, and I thought was very interesting, and it's just he said that he thinks this is whether people want to believe it or not, it could be a pretty decent matchup for the Lions defense. And the reason why he said that is because this Rams team has ran a lot of 13 personnel, which means they have 3 tight ends out there. And why offenses will be in 13 personnel is to try and get defenses in more of get teams into base defense or have more linebackers on the field. It just so happens this Lions defense already runs more base defense with more linebackers on the field. So they have they play that, they have 4 linebackers at times. So he was mentioning how it's an interesting matchup. I don't know if maybe Sean McVay maybe pivots a little bit or something, but it seems like at least matchup. I'm not saying skill position on skill position. I'm not saying or skill position on DB or whatever. I'm just saying from a schematic standpoint, it is going to be a very interesting matchup. Now, whether DJ Reed and Amik Robertson can hold up is another conversation, which we can get to that. But just from the matchup wise, like they run that 13 personnel for a reason, and the Lions run a lot of linebackers out there. So yeah, it's I don't know, man. Puka and Devontae they're impossible to cover. I mean, they're 2, like Calvin said, they're 2 number 1 wide receivers. They're 2 number 1 wide receivers. Devontae Adams is one of the best route running wide receivers. He's one of the best route runners in the entire NFL. Puka is one of the hardest receivers to guard because of his big catch. He's big, physical, great hands, makes plays, yards after. He just does everything. It's going to be and they're also not small wide receivers. And It is what it is. They got heart, but you have small DBs. DJ Reed and Amik aren't the biggest guys. So they got heart, though. But that's going to be an interesting matchup there with Matthews slinging the rock. I think the quote that came out, Boone, was Calvin told his guys, don't watch Matthews' eyes. They lie. He said, do not watch his eyes. They will lie to you. He'll be looking here.
He's not wrong, dude.
Yeah, he will lie to you. But it's going to be tough. It'll be tough.
It's the toughest match. I honestly, like in the last 2 years, I know we've had tough matchups, like even last year. You're going into play an MVP front runner, and like we know like Matthew Stafford. And the thing is, it's like you've beat this Rams team a million times the last few years, and it's like they're due to try. Like they want to beat you. Like they are motivated to beat you. And
I think you're 3-1. Jared's 3-1 now against them. I think.
Yeah, and I think lost 3 straight, if I remember correctly, right?
Yep.
And I don't think in all those games you've seen Puka Nacua in every game. Now you haven't seen a Devontae Adams yet. It's a different Rams team. I mean, listen, I'm not saying this Lions team can't get it done. I think whether you want to win or lose this game, I think offensively they're going to find a way to figure it out either way. At some, they're in my opinion, Jeff, I think they're going to be able to. Offense is going to be able to put 24 to 28 points up on this. I know the Rams defense is good, but like we've talked about it, that secondary is, it's got leaks, right? That secondary does. Like they're going to find ways to take advantage. You still have Jahmyr Gibbs. I think this thing just comes down to that defense, man, and stopping Matthew Stafford. And you could see the respect that Shep has for Stafford. I think everyone in that building does. And you most likely won't have Kirby Joseph. I don't know. I can't wrap my head to see a world where this defense finds a way to slow down Puka and Devontae Adams. And Matthew Stafford.
Is this one of those like Cowboys things where maybe you limit one? Are you trying?
I don't even know though, because then what? Puka goes for 150 and 2 touchdowns. Oh, you limit him. Devontae goes for 85 and 2 touchdowns in the red zone.
It was kind of what happened last week.
I just don't see a world.
CD had a $120 in the first half. I mean,
yeah.
He got hurt, but.
And I know there are like Lions fans out there that are just always going to say like Lions are going to win. They're like this is genuine. Like I've talked to a lot of people too. Like, man, I feel like this is just one of those games where you're like, yeah, you're an underdog for a reason. If you're going to win this game, man, this is going to be an absolute battle. Like it really is. Like this is one of those games like time of possession. Like everything's going to matter and every play is going to matter. And I think Dan. If you're a head coach and you're realistic, like, yeah, you want to tell your team, like, yeah, we could win. But, like, all right, realistically, we have to play perfect to beat this team. How do we do it? Like, defensively, man, like, your corners haven't been great. You have no safeties. What's their strength? Throwing the ball. AQM's coming off his best game. What's the theory that you love so much?
The up-down theory.
Yeah, you're not in your favor right now.
Maybe Hutch, though.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah.
I want to show you something.
Oh, gosh. I want to see this. Oh.
What a throwback that is, huh? I still have it. Just sitting over here in my office.
That is.
Unreal,
yeah, what a time to be alive. The Hutch Defensive Player of the Year for 2025. Yeah, I think, to be honest, Calvin Shepard is not saying this, nor should he, but just from we cover the Lions. My take on what the defense is going to do or what they should do, you're not going to slow down this offense in terms of moving the ball. They're going to move the ball. You got to be stout in the red zone. Okay. And I know that's going to be a tough task because Devontae's a red zone menace. They have Kyron. They have Blake Corum, who actually hasn't been talked about enough. Blake Corum's actually played really good football. They
have a good 1-2 punch, man. They
got
really
a good 1-2 punch, but they got to be stout in the red zone, just like they were in the playoff game. That's kind of been the history of facing the Rams is like, hey, they move the ball. Matthews throwing all over. Now you got to try and be as stout as you can. You got to turn. It's like, what does Calvin say? The 4-point play. Got
to have 4-point plays. Turn 7 into 3.
You have
they did it multiple times last week versus the Cowboys.
And then that's just assuming your offense, which I do believe they'll be able to score some points. I'm not saying they're going to put 40 like they did against, because it's a better defense, but I don't think they'll be stopped. But yeah, your defense is going to have to have some of those 4-point plays, because if you're allowing touchdowns, it just puts so much more pressure, and there's less of room for error for your offense, and we can't expect them to be perfect either. So it's just I don't know, in the red zone, maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be Kelvin trying to draw up like schemes. That's going to be tough. What do you double Devontae in the red zone? Okay, Puka's open.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm interested
Colby
actually.
Parkinson, their tight end. Colby Parkinson's making like incredible catches out here. Who's Colby Parkinson? I don't know who that is.
I would love to be a fly on the wall to see what their defensive scheme and game plan is for Sunday. I would love to just see what's the plan. What is the plan?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's tough. I mean, I will say the area in which I'm confident, or at least more confident in than the passing defense, is the run defense. I do think those guys up front are gonna come to play. And another part of that is Jack Campbell. I think Jack Campbell. I don't think it's really a debate. He is the best run defending linebacker in the entire league. He is. He is. And we see it every time we watch the Lions. What are we saying? Oh, there's Jack making a tackle in the run game.
He is always there. Well, not even just always solos, just any assisted tackle. That man's just in on the play. He's the best run defending linebacker in the entire league. It's insane how often he's involved in the play. So you could argue the best linebacker in the league right now.
He's playing. Yeah, no, he's playing at the highest level.
We don't get to watch every team and every linebacker. In my opinion, when you watch him, and who was it that said? I think it was Dan that said, you can get to a point now. It's like Dan compared him to Luke Kuechly, I think, and I don't think that's it's at a point where it's like whoa, relax. Luke Kuechly was insane. Jack is I think you're at a point where it's like, no, Jack's insane. He is that good. You could start talking about him as those types of levels of guys, in my opinion. By the way, in this game tonight, Kyle Pitts is going nuts.
Is he?
Bro, every time I look over, the guy's running the ball. He has a catch, another catch. And he was questionable today. I forgot fantasy as well today, by the way. So if me and you are playing each other.
I just that.
If we're playing each other.
By the way, Kirk Cousins loves him. I saw his production with Kirk Cousins shot up significantly.
I was going to put him in this parlay that I had, but the only issue was
Kirk, he had 80 yards and 90 yards.
I saw that, but the only issue was he was questionable today with a knee injury. He has 5 for 93 with 1 touchdown. It's still the first or the second quarter.
Oh, he
just caught another touchdown pass. This guy's had this is a career game.
They don't have Drake London, do they?
No. Dude, I literally had him in my parlay. I took him out because it said, I looked up on Twitter and everyone was like, his knee's hurt. They don't know if he's going to even play.
Dude, the Bucks could go to 500. No one's really talking about that.
No, I think people are. I think the reason they haven't is because I think
Mike, Chris Godwin, and Ibuka.
Mike Evans just got killed last, but he might be hurt again. He took one of those hits he took a hit. It was a back of the knee, got flipped over back. It was a hit where it was why would you hit the guy like that? Kind of like the
Zach Ertz.
Yeah, but he didn't I don't think he got up and walked off, but he was holding his back. But the way it looked, it was I don't get why a football player would just. It looks like you're trying to end someone's career when you hit them like that. It's very. Yeah, Jalen McMillan tried to fight the guy.
Panthers might get that division.
Yeah, so I think the reason people haven't talked about the Bucs yet is because next week they play the Panthers, and then in 2 weeks they play the Panthers again. So I think after this week there's going to start to be that conversation with the Bucs. It's the Panthers Bucs. They still play each other twice. It's going to come down to those 2 games. Who wins that division?
Kyle Pitts, he's had guys on a heater the last couple of weeks. That's crazy.
I don't know why the Bucs aren't good, man. They have such a good team. It's just so weird. They're under.
Todd Bowles, maybe. I see someone in there. I'm never. You guys know how I feel about defensive coaches. I've made that very clear. Not a fan of them.
They lose. What's his name?
Liam Cohen. Yep, lost Liam Cohen, and Baker had a great start, but kind of he's fallen a little bit the last couple weeks. I mean, he hasn't had more than 1 passing touchdown in 5 weeks. Think about that. He's had 4 passing touchdowns and 3 interceptions the last 4 weeks.
He's struggling. I don't know what it is with Baker, man.
Yeah, it's the offense.
I didn't realize it's 9:40. This show has gone by so fast.
Yeah, I know it has.
It's already 9:40.
We can get to we got your keys now. Your keys to victory. I got those too. Booner's
yeah.
keys.
I mean, they're essentially what we were just talking about.
Yeah, we can talk about here. To break it down for me, Boone. You got your Booner's keys to victory this week.
Let's
Facing
do
the
it.
Los Angeles Rams. It's a tough task, toughest game on the schedule. How are the Lions going to win this game, Boone? Talk to me here.
Can I play some music with it?
Yes, here I got you. We'll turn on some. Hold on, a little bit of. Yeah, hold on.
You just play that? All right, keys to victory. Booner segment. Here we go. Let's start at the top.
Sick. You were about an hour late on that cue when we were talking.
We haven't used that once for this Sherrone Moore situation. We have that sitting in there.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. All right. Keys to victory, Lions versus Rams. Listen, I think this is pretty simple. I know a lot of people listen, Jeff, I'm gonna turn to this because Dan Campbell actually brought this up. My number one key to victory for the last 2 years every week. I've always you know how I am with this. I'm a very, very it's kind of just a fact. If you win the turnover battle in an NFL game, you're probably winning the game. Like, you're just adding extra. If you're a good team, you're just adding extra possessions. And if you have a good enough offense, you're going to score 30, right? Like, if you're adding those possessions. I think this is just one of those things with this Lions team where it's like, man, like, you might not be good enough to win a Super Bowl, it feels like right now. And to win a game where you're a 5-point underdog on the road versus the MVP, it's like, how do you find a way to win? Like I said earlier in the show, it's going to be a battle. And you're going to have to play an essentially perfect game. I think part of that perfect game is, I talk about time of possession a lot. When you win that turnover battle, you are taking the time of possession into your hands, essentially. Like, that's how I look at it a little bit. And I think to take Matthew Stafford off the field, man, you got to intercept him. Look at that Panthers game a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you remember that. He threw that touchdown pass that broke the record for most touchdown passes in a row without throwing an interception. Instantly throws an interception, right? The Panthers force a turnover. Boom. Right after that, what happens? Throws a pick six. And it was like, how did the Panthers win that football game versus a hot football team and an MVP candidate? It was turnovers, man. And people were like, well, why'd they slip up to the Panthers? Watch the game. Forcing Matthew Stafford to turn the ball over. Interceptions. And I think you have to beat a team like the Rams, man, you have to steal those possessions. Because you're doing two things. You're giving your offense another chance to put points on the board, and you're taking Matthew Stafford off the field. It's a win-win, man. So I think to win the turnover battle should always be number one, especially versus a team that you're an underdog. Number two, the offensive line, Jeff Iafrate. If offensively you got to go out there and outscore this Rams team, how do you get Jared Goff to perform at the highest of levels? How do you get Jahmyr Gibbs to run for 100 yards? How does David Montgomery get opportunities?
You block for him.
Yep. This offensive line has to play at a high level. You saw it last week versus the Cowboys. It wasn't the best offensive line in the NFL, but man, what did they do, man? They gave Jared Goff time. He stepped up. He made the throws. They won the game. They scored 40, right? Like, they put 40 up, and it starts with the O-line every week. And you never know with this team what offensive line you're going to get because they're so young. They haven't played with each other a lot. But I'll tell you what, man, like, if you get a good one, that's going to give you a chance to win this football game. And then the last one, this is one Dan Campbell brought up on 97.1 this week. Jim Costa asked him about the share split kind of with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. And he said, listen, if people want to get more touches, if we want to be able to get more weapons involved and have a better offense and get a higher efficiency, all these different things, it starts with converting on third downs, like extending drives. And I think offensively, for them to extend drives and to put it gives you opportunities not only just to get 7, but to get 3. And like in a game like this, man, getting those field goals mean a lot. And then I think on the other side of the ball, man, there are going to be times, Jeff, and you know this very well, we're going to be sitting there at the Dog and Pony Show doing our live show, and it's going to be a one possession game, whether it's in favor of us or them, and it's going to be a 3rd and long. And it's like, if you get this stop, this game changes. You have to get off the field on those 3rd downs. Yeah, we've seen it so many times this year that this defense gets to those 3rd downs and they don't get off the field. And then they allow the team to convert. It has happened so many times this year, man. I think that's something that they need to get a lot better at, is winning third downs on both sides of the ball, man. Offense and defense, especially defensively versus Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, and Devontae Adams, especially versus them.
It's even fourth downs, too. They're 20th right now in opponent fourth down conversion rate. So
that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
Third downs, they're 12th. So they're almost middle of the pack on that as well. So, no, it's spot on. The turnovers, I know Matthew hasn't had a ton of turnovers, but that's something you have to, it's the best time for it is this weekend. I think that's your best chance of winning as well. You have to force turnovers. And the Lions are coming off the game where they forced the most turnovers on the season. So they are turnovers. It helps having Kirby Joseph, but when you're a defense that can create turnovers, they do spread like a wildfire. When you start creating turnovers game to game, that's how the Lions have been the last couple of years. They get turnovers the next game, it just kind of spreads. It's like you get in droughts where you don't turn the ball over, and then all of a sudden you're back in, you're turning the ball. They got to carry last week into this week. Maybe not as many, but if you could force a fumble like Jack Campbell always does, tries to rip out a football, do it. All right, maybe you never know. Maybe Puka fumbles. All right, maybe Kyron fumbles. Did it against the 49ers? Force it. All right. You got to force turnovers. So I agree with it. And the offensive line is going to be massive. This Rams, the last time I checked, and this could change. Last time I checked, this was a couple weeks ago. The Rams are 16th in pass rush win rate. So they're middle of the pack. I think they might be a little higher now, but they got talent there. They can get after the QBs. So there's no question about it. And hopefully, we'll see. I don't know who's playing. I don't know if Miles Frazier is going to get some run. Tristan Colon. I don't know what they're doing there at that guard spot. Christian Mahogany's working his way back, but yeah, they got to be stout. No question about it. So
those are good ones. Did I miss any? Is there any that you would probably throw on there that I didn't put on there?
No, I think the third down ones, I think they're all spot on. I would say I would probably add in what we talked about like 10 minutes ago, which is red zone defense. I guess I would throw in there as well, like red zone 4-point plays. If you can prevent touchdowns or at least allow field goals instead, you have a better chance of winning this ball game. I know it's an obvious one, but it's true with this offense. So you were spot on.
I think to win a game like this too, you know who you really need? Like one player. I think Jahmyr Gibbs has to have a big day.
Yeah, you need.
I think Gibbs. You need to have Gibbs, dude.
When Jahmyr Gibbs, it's funny you say that. I was. Let me see this actually. When Jahmyr Gibbs runs for over 100 yards, they are 3-0.
See, I think that's something. If you can establish the run because of how bad that secondary is, if you can get Jahmyr Gibbs going and you force them to stack the box, man, and force them, that opens everything up for JMO and Amon-Ra. Everything.
When he runs for 90 or more yards, you're 5-0. So
you just got to get this guy the rock.
Yeah, I just looked. So yeah, that's because if you're bailing on you're down in a football game. Like the Vikings, he ran for 25 yards, they lost. Eagles, he ran for 3 a carry, they lost. Packers, he ran for 3 a carry, they lost. For game 1 against the Packers, he ran for 2 a carry, they lost. Chiefs, he ran for 3 a carry, they lost. It's like obvious. You get Jahmyr the ball, he runs the ball well. You're in third and shorts. I think John Morton said this. We have to be just ahead of the sticks. We have to be constantly in these, at least at the minimum, like 3rd and 2. These unpredictable downs where you're kind of like third. You're like 2nd and 2, 2nd and 5, where you're not like constantly 3rd and 12, 2nd and 10. It gets just tougher to convert those. So yeah, run the damn. Which by the way, run the ball. That's on the shop too. Run the ball. It's on there.
Can we for like some of our merch, like we have that? Can we just do like a shirt that like this is like? Do we just have it run the ball?
It's run the ball with Jahmyr and David on it, I think.
Can we just do like when we do some of these? We need. I think it would be good for like just some simple ones where I just run the ball, a black shirt or like a black sweatshirt and just white letters. Run the ball. Run the damn ball. Just boom, 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 and that's it. That's all it says on it. It's like super simple. You know what I mean?
Wear them to Lions games.
Yeah.
Just an absolute. Have like a section of Ford Field with just those shirts on.
Well, you know what we need to do? I have ideas. We need to talk off because I actually just thought that just made me think of something actually about merch that we can actually. I just thought of something.
Love that.
Ding, ding, ding. Idea.
Drop your mailbag questions. T says, "Oh yeah, money line Gibbs 2 touchdowns.
I hate it.
Gibbs
Like,
5
like-
touchdowns."
Wow. That's something.
SW Lion. What are your thoughts on the Lions going to a 3-4-4 lineman, having Hutch play more off the line, rotating the D line, linebacker position of strength? They can bump wide receivers. Yeah, well, they've tried a bunch of different things. I mean, the 3-4-4, what they're doing, and I heard who talked about this. Was it on Lions Collective? I think we kind of talked about this too. How the D line, I think it was because they spoke to the players about how the change of mindset when they have 4 guys up front. Or 3 guys up front. I think against the Cowboys, what they were telling themselves, I guess, this is what I think Justin Rogers said. Against the Cowboys, they treated every down like it was a passing down. They just rushed the passer, even if it was a run play. Because usually in run plays, you're not trying to overcommit, and you know what I'm saying? They treated every single snap from the Cowboys like it was a run play. Or a pass play. So they just rushed their ass off no matter what. And you know what that means? Jack Campbell, more pressure on him because now he has to basically fill gaps and fix problems, essentially, which he did. So, and then I think there was a time they said where Jack Campbell was like trying to audible. You know how he audibles at the line of scrimmage? He said something to the D-line, and the D-line was like, I don't give a damn. We're rushing the passer, bro. And Jack's like, okay. All right. Like they just were like, they're like, we're going to pin our ears back and just rush the passer. That was the mentality. They didn't even care about how they were more, how when they're defending the run, they kind of hang there and you defend. Yeah. You're like, fuck it. We're getting after Dak. And they got all those sacks. I mean, I don't know.
How many points they gave up?
A lot. But that was, I don't know.
It's such a weird thing with this defense sometimes, man, because it's like we do push, like we want to get to the quarterback as a fan base. Like that's always a story. It's like we want to get like you have to get to the quarterback, and then like they're like, all right, like we'll listen to the fans, like we'll like D linemen are like, all right, we hear you guys, and they just ears back go, and they give up 1,000,000 points still, and you're like, like Shep's probably like, see.
Yeah, I mean they have 3 defensive linemen, 4. They've been playing 4 linebackers at times, so they've been having that's where you'll see it. Different linebackers play. I think they had like remember you said Nowaski was or who was out there?
Nowaski was out there like multiple times. Yeah, we weren't seeing him for a while. Yeah. You know what I don't see much on defense since he's been back? I haven't really seen Rodrigo.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean he's good special teamer. He's solid linebacker.
Yeah, but you would think that they were like you see Nowaski and they were getting defensive snaps. Can I go? Hold on, I want to go see how much does Justin tweet out a lot?
Like you talking about the snaps?
Yeah, I know he tweets it out after games. I'm going to go through his Twitter and go back. Hopefully, he doesn't tweet too much so I can get there quicker. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Got it already. Guess how many snaps Rodriguez played defensively, and guess how many Nowaski played.
I'll say 4 from Rodrigo.
How many
5.
for Nowaski?
8.
You're locking in 5 and 8?
No, more than that. I'll go 5 or I'll go 7 from Malcolm and like 15 for Nowaski.
Okay, so Nowaski had 14, 17%.
Okay.
He had 14. Tyleek, this is crazy. Your first round draft pick had 22. Trevor Nowaski had 14. That's nuts. Different positions.
Have the reader out there, really.
Yeah, different positions for sure. But if you're talking about like linebacker position, I mean, you have Jack, Anzo, and Derek Barnes. So it's like either way, though, they're fine. They want to get Nowaski on the field. You said 10 for Rodriguez?
No, I said like 5.
2 defensive snaps. 2 defensive snaps to 14 with Nowaski. 2.
He had a cup of coffee. He had a cup of coffee out there. Yeah. I thought, what happened to Kelvin? I'm going to have to start a rookie. What happened to that, man?
That was on Derek Barnes, too. I mean, if we're being honest, Shep, that worked. Because now look at Derek Barnes. They fired Derek Barnes up. Derek Barnes got a contract from that speech, basically. And that man played 58 snaps. Your linebackers.
Derek Barnes, dude, is balling.
Oh, dude, your linebackers, you had Jack Campbell, 82 snaps, 100% of the snaps. Anzo, 80 snaps, only sat out 2 snaps. Derek Barnes, 58 snaps. And Nowaski, 14. Those guys are out there working.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't you know who's which tomorrow actually I thought of it tomorrow. Let's do a segment, X Factor segment the last four weeks.
I like that.
Let's do that because I actually want to bring up. I have an X Factor I want to talk about tomorrow. Big one. We'll get to that because I think there's a good conversation.
Can I guess it?
No, because then if you guess it right, then it might ruin it. It might ruin it. You probably know it.
Can I get a hint going into tomorrow? Like give like a really hard hint.
It's gonna be obvious.
No, give like a really hard hint, like a really hard one.
It's on defense.
That's such an easy hint. I mean, it comes down to 11 guys now.
That's all I'm giving you. Because if I say anything else, you'll know it.
It's gonna end up. I know it's gonna be. It's gonna be like a defensive tackle.
See. SW Line says you guys should get all 22 on your show. I don't know if we can do.
No, we've talked about that. We've tried it. We got flagged.
Yeah, because it's tricky with all 22. We would love to. I mean, to do like strictly film breakdowns. I don't know. Yeah,
maybe is there an all 22 person?
I don't know how that works.
SW
that
Lines,
guy, Jackson Kruger or something.
I think that might be what he's saying. We should get that person on our show.
Oh. Yes.
Maybe I could be wrong. I'm not familiar with the person, by the way. I think the all 22 team follows, or whoever it is follows.
Oh, you're talking about accounts. Sorry, if that's what you mean, then yeah.
Film we can't play, even in any type of film we can't play. But you're like Dion does it. I don't know. We did it last year and we got flagged. We didn't get like a strike or anything.
Yeah, I gotta see.
But we got demonetized for those videos. So it's like, if we do it, we're just not making money on those videos.
Yeah, it just depends. I don't know how the monetization thing works. Like maybe Dion does it, but those videos he's not necessarily making. I don't know. That's what I'll reach out to Dion on him. Yeah, I'm actually going to try and get Dion on the show soon, so I'll reach out to him. I want to get Dion back on here.
I would rather personally not risk it because, dude, we were posting stuff before, and then we thought we were in the clear, and then 6 months later, they were like, hey, they went back like – YouTube in the moment, they'll make you think you're good for a year, and then they'll go back and be like, "Oh, by the way, our AI detectors detected this," and you're like, "Wait a second, what?"
AI detectors, man.
And we're like, "When was that?" And they're like, 8 months ago. You didn't tell us when we did it.
You want to give out your score prediction before we end the show?
Tomorrow, Friday, we have a Friday show.
Oh, I thought.
Yeah, honestly, when I was doing the prep for the show today and I was putting some stuff in, I did one of the segments I put in score prediction, thoughts on the game, final thoughts on the game, and then I erased it because I thought it was
feels like a Friday, maybe because we've been having Thursday games, so we've been having 4 shows a week, so it feels like this is tomorrow. Caleb's, I guess we'll be back on Pick'em. I don't know what's been going on with Pick'em. Just know it's incomplete the last.
We didn't do it last week. Yeah,
no.
Well, we didn't. What was our show? We did a morning show last week, so.
And we didn't do Pick'em on.
We didn't do a Pick'em, yeah. I think we should just end it. I'm in the lead. I'm up 2.
No. We're bringing it back tomorrow with Caleb. We'll bring that back.
Is Caleb on? I mean, Caleb's missed like every time we were about to have him on. He's like, "Hey, I'm sorry, boys, can't make it." Like 3 straight weeks.
I don't know. By the way, this guy, I'm not using a filter. Okay, can we just end that? Can we end the allegation?
Are you? Because I will say, I'll tell the people there is a filter option in our studio. Do you guys want to see what the filter option looks like? Can I show the people?
Yeah, throw it up so that.
Watch my face. This is if you ever want to know if we have a filter. Watch this. Look at the cheek. It's so bad. And then watch. Turns me into a cartoon. You would know if we had a.
It basically just looks like you have makeup on.
Yeah,
I guess
you
would
would know. You would know.
No filter.
It's very obvious. And sometimes it automatically turns on when I go into the thing. I'll be like halfway through a show and I'm like, why do I look weird? And then I'll go in and it's like on. I'm like, well, how is this on?
No filter. I can promise you that. We'll be back tomorrow, though. We'll preview the game more in depth. We've been kind of having conversations, but it's time to get down to the nitty gritty. Tomorrow, it'll be a good one. We'll do pick 'em. We'll give our final scores out, all the final everything. I mean, injury report, who's playing, who's not playing. So you're going to want to be there for that. Until tomorrow, 8 p.m., we will catch you all. Get your merchandise.
Love you guys.
Peace.
Like the stream.
Like it.
Fire.